There are plenty of lightweight gaming mice on the market. Hell, there are even wireless lightweight mice like this glorious Model D- wireless. But do you know what I've never seen? A lightweight wireless MMO mouse. I use a Razer Naga Trinity as my main gaming mouse, and that way it may as well weigh a metric ton by comparison, so a lightweight and wireless option would make for a great replacement. Enter the Steelseries AEROX 9 wireless. It's just beautiful. Okay, it's not exactly beautiful itself, it's one of the cutout style mice with more holes than plastic. They have tried to make the PCB and the very visible internals as pretty as possible, but I can't say that this is exactly stunning. But, I mean, who cares? It's a mouse. It spends all of its time under your hand, which is why I never really understood RGB on mice. I mean, sure, on a keyboard where you can see, or you're never sort of covering the whole thing, so you can always see parts of it, sure, and also having backlighting is a genuinely useful feature in the dark, but on a mouse? I mean, it's under your hand, you can't see it, it doesn't matter. Well, Steelseries clearly agrees, because this thing will turn off the LEDs whenever you move the mouse. That is obviously a nice sort of useful thing, but it's also going to increase the battery life too, which Steelseries quotes as 180 hours for this thing, which I'm not exactly mad at. I should mention, while Steelseries claims this is an ultra lightweight mouse, it's not quite. It's 89 grams, which compared to the 67 grams of the glorious Model D- wireless, well, this might as well generate some gravitational force. Okay, not really. Compared to my Razer Naga Trinity at 120 grams, well, this thing's an absolute featherweight. Even comparing to Razer's newer Naga Pro wireless, that's 119. So this isn't the absolute lightest, despite the cheese grater holes, but it's definitely lightweight compared to its rivals. Features-wise, the main event here has to be the 12 programmable thumb buttons. They're laid out in a slightly concave shape to make them as accessible as possible, and for my larger hands, it works pretty well. I do still have to sort of twist the mouse slightly to get at the top corner button, the furthest one away, button number 3, but most of the buttons are comfortable enough to hit really without moving my thumb too much, and they're relatively easy to get used to where they are, and repetitive hits for specific buttons once you get used to it, so I'm pretty happy with that layout. And speaking of the ergonomics, this is definitely a palm grip style mouse. If you have larger hands, you might have a chance of hybrid or maybe claw gripping it, but odds are you're going to feel much more comfortable with a palm grip. One thing that you sort of might put you off is the lack of grip that you get all around the mouse. Everything is smooth plastic. Even on the ring and pinky finger side, it's a smooth, mostly flat piece of plastic that just isn't great for holding on to all that well. It's not the worst that I've felt by far. I can still hold on to it without too much difficulty, but it definitely could be on the grippier side for sure. Comfort-wise, it does have a pretty high rise in the back, but it fits my hand well enough. The only fatigue that I felt with it was having to very carefully grip it so as to not press any of the side buttons while lifting or sweeping it around. You might also be concerned with build quality on a mouse with more holes than Swiss cheese, but I'm happy to report that on the whole, it's pretty fine. It doesn't feel like it wants to collapse in on itself when you're gripping it tightly or flicking it around. It's all pretty good there. The side buttons all feel well supported and tactile, just like any other MMO style mouse, really. And well, even the scroll wheel feels pretty decent and decent quality there. The only thing that I would note is that possibly since the sort of speed holes extend onto the left and right click buttons, I felt a little bit of a sort of catching or sort of almost scratchiness inside the movement. it didn't really affect my gaming experience, it never interfered with me at all, but it can feel a touch crunchy at times if you sort of push it the wrong way. Actually, gaming on it felt pretty good though. I really like having a few extra buttons on the side of my mouse to do things like swap weapons or, heal in games like PUBG, so this is pretty great. The lack of grip surface did mean that I had to put more mental energy into keeping hold of the mouse and not smushing these side buttons, but I still had a pretty decent time with it. I did happen to have pretty limited vision when filming some of these shots, so you'll have to excuse the considerably worse than normal skills on display. But regardless of that, I can say that this is pretty appealing for a pretty wide range of people and for a pretty wide sort of genre of games. Of course, if you're after a bit of customization on this, you'll be happy to know that the SteelSeries engine can offer plenty. You can adjust the CPI settings as you would expect, change the sleep timer to help increase the battery life, enable the high efficiency mode, which basically locks most of the adjustable settings like the adjustable polling rate to 125 Hz down from 1000 Hz at standard, and locks the illumination smart mode, that's the thing that turns the LEDs off when you're moving the mouse, to on. Of course, you can customize the LED lighting pattern and remap any of the buttons on the mouse to literally anything you want, from keyboard keys to macros and even launch entire programs if you really want to. I should also mention that the dongle for this mouse is a USB-C dongle, which is quite interesting, quite unique, haven't seen that yet. It comes with a C2C little adapter block, the big rubber pad on the bottom to stick it to your desk, and a very nice sort of braided soft USB-C cable to connect it all up. I should also mention that the mouse also has Bluetooth support. It is limited to 125 Hz polling rate over Bluetooth, but if you're using it on Bluetooth, I don't think that's too big of a problem, so it does have that ability. Compared to something like the glorious Moto O or D wireless, this isn't exactly a match, especially for Elite Pro FPS gaming. But it clearly isn't meant to be. As a pretty versatile option, I could happily use this as my main gaming mouse, although a touch more grip would definitely be nice. The lightweight design is something that is usually reserved for FPS mice, so to see it available in the MMO space too is pretty great. It definitely makes a difference compared to my Naga Trinity, especially for longer gaming sessions, so I can see this as a very good option for, like I said, a wide range of people, and I could definitely give this a pretty decent recommendation. The only other catch though is the price. This is SteelSeries' top-end option, which commands a premium. You can pick it up for around £100 right now, which is considerably more than something like the glorious Model D- wireless that I have here. Although it is also right in line with Razer's Naga Pro wireless, so for its class, this isn't too bad, but it's definitely one of the more expensive mice on the market. If you're interested though, I'll leave a global Amazon affiliate link in the description for you to check out and maybe pick one up yourself. So, you've heard my thoughts, but I would love to hear yours in the comments down below. What do you think of the Steelseries AEROX 9 wireless? Is it a mouse you'd pick up yourself? Would you go with something like the Razer Naga Pro, the Naga Trinity if you're mad like me, or something more FPS-y like the glorious options instead? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this one, you can be notified of those with the subscribe button and notification bell. You can also check out plenty of other reviews on the channel, including the Model D- wireless review on the end cards, and that's kind of it. You can also support the channel, keep me making videos like this one with the links in the description. There's places like Amazon and Overclock UK affiliate links if you're buying from there. There's merch hoodies and t-shirts like this one. You can even become a YouTube member or patron with the options down there as well. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.